Who killed Dino Bravo is the big question on this review tonight. I'm gonna use something that my buddy Indigo Uchiha. Indigo, I'm sure you're watching this, so shout out to you. I'm gonna use what you said, what you told me. This episode of Dark Side of the Ring with Dino Bravo was so intense for everything that happened with who killed him. Lots of speculation of who killed him. I know who I think killed him. We'll talk about it, but what Indigo said, this was a very, very intense episode of Dark Side of the Ring with Dino Bravo. In the WWF for 6 years. He left. I'm gonna go down the list. I took a whole bunch of notes during the show tonight. A page and a half of notes. So I'm gonna start from the top, and we'll work our way to the bottom, and then I'll answer the big question: who killed Dino Bravo? Who really did kill Dino Bravo? But in the beginning, start from the beginning. Bravo, where I worked with the Ultimate Warrior. I just wrote that in because why not? They said, Chris Jericho said in the beginning, Dino's murder is an unsolved mystery. He was a big dude in the WWF, and he was Italian as well, so he was an international wrestler. Dino Bravo was a top guy in his own country at a Montreal wrestling promotion, and he was also a booker. So what he did was he booked himself to win all the matches, look good at the end, and be the top guy of the company. Unreal. Who does that? Who books himself to be the top guy of the company? Come on, man. Be fair. In Montreal around WrestleMania 1, the big dream match was Dino Bravo and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 1, and it was ultimately canceled, which made Dino very, very pissed off. He wanted to have the match with Hulk Hogan, and the match got called off. A lot of people wanted to see it as well, but then he was on life support in 1986. His Montreal wrestling promotion, which he was the top guy and booking himself to win all the time, was on life support, and he had a choice. Was he going to keep his wrestling promotion and risk losing, or sign with Vince McMahon and the WWF? Well, eventually, he took the deal because he was offered $300,000 guaranteed, and he had a chance to earn $1 million. Vince McMahon, once again, throwing money at people's face. Dino obviously looked at this and like, he's giving me so much money. I would never gonna make so much money though for this my life. So he took the deal. And he was paired up with one of the best managers, in my opinion, of all time, in Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart is one of the best managers of all time. I'd say him and Paul Heyman are the two best managers in wrestling history. And he was good in his career. He was big, decent runs, beating top guys. But then of course, he was doing fine. And Vince McMahon still does it back then, and he still does it now. Vince killed Dino Bravo. He changed his gimmick. He made him dye his hair blonde. He was a bleach blonde American when he was really Canadian. So Vince turned him into an American heel. He was a great heel. Don't get me wrong, Dino Bravo was a great heel for the WWF, but the fact that you made the guy dye his hair blonde and he was embarrassed by it and getting made fun of it by it at bars, I gotta feel for the man, dude. That's that sucks. That really does suck. I'd hate to be in that position. I'm never growing out. I'm never dyeing this hair. He kept losing and losing and losing, and he was not getting over with the audience. See a lot of wrestlers doing that nowadays in the WWE, but eventually in 1992, Dino Bravo left the WWF because his contract was expired, and at that time there was nowhere else to go, so wrestling was done for him. He lost passion for wrestling. He was worried because he wasn't getting money, and he was worried about paying bills with the house and laying food on the table for his family. Dino Bravo was drinking with a Northeast hockey player. He loved hockey. Hockey was his favorite sport in Montreal. His favorite team was obviously the Montreal Canadiens. He then got into a fight with his friend Jaquez Rago in the bar when he was drinking with his hockey player, and they got into an intense bar. He went to punch him, and he punched the wall. Jaquez did, and he made new friends. Life after WWF, and that's when his downward spiral really began, in my opinion, because his friends were shit. They were not treating him like friends. Heck, I guess I could say I've been in that situation before where I feel like, yeah, I have people who I'm around and I surround myself with, and I call them friends. But at the end of the day, are they really your friends, or are they just another person? I think they're just another person. Those guys weren't really friends to Dino Bravo. I went through the same thing that Dino Bravo went through. I had surrounded myself with people that I thought were my friends. And what did they do? They just left me and ignored me. I don't care about them anymore. I don't even talk to them. Dino one night, he then called Jaquez. He wanted to watch a hockey game. He wanted to watch a hockey game with him, and then he said he was busy with something, and he was going to tell him he'd be down the next morning to go see him. And he said Jaquez and Dino, they weren't really the best of friends. They respected each other, but they were not friends whatsoever. And then he goes to Jaquez goes to a gas station. This guy, I don't even think he knows, gives him a newspaper, and it said that Dino Bravo was shot. Dino Bravo was shot. He was shot 7 times in the head and 11 on the body. Jesus, was I emotional at this point? Not crying, but I felt really, really, really bad for Dino Brown's family in this situation. This must have sucked. Her wife was crying when she found out Dino was dead. They found a pistol and a machine gun found near him. When the door was unlocked, he had his face wrapped. At the funeral, his daughter was crying. His murderer headlined Montreal, and they said 2 assassins were involved with this. And I'm just gonna get right to the point. I'm gonna get right to it, man. He was involved with all this smoking and drugs after wrestling. I guarantee you, his so-called friends were. This is what the whole second part of the documentary is about. From 10:30 on, it was who killed Dino Bravo. I'm gonna tell you right now, one of his so-called friends came over to his house to watch the hockey game, and he forced them to smoke or do cocaine with them or marijuana, and Dino didn't want to. He just wanted to watch a hockey game and have a drink. And his friend forced him and forced him. And eventually he had a gun with him and shot him to death. Freaking sucks, man. It was I think it was his gangster friends, his so-called his fake friends, I'm going to say. His fake friends that he met at the bar. They killed him cuz he didn't want to smoke cocaine with him. And those are the people you guys should not be surrounding yourselves by. Those people are scumbags. And that was basically the second half of the Dino Bravo documentary. I barely took notes after 10:30. Yes, he was involved in a cigarette smuggling. I'm sure that had something to do involved with his so-called fake friends killing him, but that's my thoughts on the Dino Bravo documentary tonight. This was, once again, a really good documentary. Not the strongest documentary, but this was still really, really good. Dark Side of the Ring, like I said, I say it lots every week. Dark Side of the Ring has been one of my favorite TV shows on the past couple of weeks. Just sitting down, having a nice soda or a milkshake, sitting down with my father, watching these documentaries, watching with my father. My mother watched a little bit tonight. It's great. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite parts of the week, if I can be honest. But that's it, guys. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for watching this video so much. If you haven't already, subscribe right here on the Big Fight Fuel channel for some great content. Comment down below, what did you think of tonight's Dark Side of the Ring documentary for Dino Bravo? Like this video with a super kick. Follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. You can follow me on Instagram as well at Conlon_Joseph. Follow Eddie on Twitter at EddieMullins515. And guys, I will be right back here tomorrow night for your AEW Dynamite review. We got 2 quarterfinal matchups for the TNT Championship. Kip Sabian versus Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night. Stay safe.